We are back on financial series, and today we are looking at financial goal setting, and we'll give you some ideas on how you can also start your financial goal setting. Stay tuned as we dive into it. Hello there, Ubuntu here, and thank you for joining in. And today we are talking about financial goals, setting your financial goals for 2022. And I'm going to share with you at least five goals that you might adopt and customize to your situation. And yeah, let's just dive into it. Goal number one is obviously, this should be an obvious one. That is, if you were living paycheck to paycheck, that has to stop. That should be goal number one, to desist from living paycheck to paycheck. And you need to get into the habit of actually making your budget and following through your budget, reviewing it, ensuring that you're tracking all your expenses so that you don't go overboard. So that is goal number one. No more paycheck to paycheck. And I've talked about it in this video here that you want to do well to watch. Yeah, that is goal number one. And goal number two, start an education fund. We are fortunate here in Botswana that our government subsidizes our education system. But anything is possible, really, politically, anything is possible. And you want to have that buffer on the peace of mind of knowing that you have money that is set aside for the education for your kids. And depending on their age, you might want to start small, depositing money in that education fund, but increasing it as time goes on. Or you can do it and the opposite way, starting with a lot of money, but then decreasing it as time goes on. And what you also need to factor in is just a 10% increment, because the tuition fee tends to go up on a yearly basis. So when you're saving, say maybe 20,000 for maybe 3 years, you want to top it with 2,000, just to act as a buffer. And it will be a good idea for you to scout around. So that you can determine the different tuition fees in different schools, so that when you're setting that goal, you know the figure that you need to set aside for the kids. Yes, and this one is very, very, very crucial. Education fund for your kids. Yeah, yeah. Don't wait to say that they are too young. Start when they are young, so that when they're old and they're ready to go to school, you have that covered. Yeah. Yeah. So emergency fund, the recommended one is 1,000 pula, but really 1,000 pula, it's might be a small figure, and you are guided. You should be guided by the expenses that you have on a monthly basis, and take an average and save that average for at least 1 month. And the emergency fund, I think I'll talk about it in one of the videos, because you just have an emergency fund for 1 month, and once you are done with all your debts, you can actually have your emergency fund to be set for at least as 3 to 6 months of all the expenses. Yeah, yeah, that is a different video altogether. But for now, just set aside at least 1,000 bucks for emergency. Yeah, yeah, that is goal number three. And goal number four, if you're renting, like I'm renting, I'm tired of renting. And renting is expensive, and you're giving money to another person, while you can be using that money for your own benefit. So if you have not thought about it, think about having if you don't have a residential plot, think about acquiring a residential plot. And what you need to consider is residential plots are expensive in the cities. They are not as expensive as you go into the village area. But here's the key. You want to have a residential plot that at the end of the day, if you build, say for instance, just a one-room structure, you are rest assured you can find someone to rent in, because the small rooms nowadays, they go with electricity and water, and with a mini kitchen with bathroom inside. you can put it up for 500 to 600 bucks, and that's something. So save towards getting a residential plot, and eventually once you have acquired the residential plot, save towards building a structure in that residential plot. Yeah, and the other thing that if we come together, some things are easier when we work together, especially when it comes to acquiring these residential plots. For instance, if you are in the city, residential plots are expensive. We are looking at a plot of 400 meters square at 250,000. That's a lot of money. But then if you come together, not necessarily wanting to have a plot in the city, but maybe not minding the outskirts of the city, because outskirts of the city are kind of less expensive. You can actually identify maybe two, three, four, five people that have the same vision of having of starting their own property. Come together and look around, get farms, look around the farms. There are farms that are close to the city, and you can buy an 8 hectare farm at maybe 150,000. And if you are five, that's 150,000 divided by five people, you find what it's not really, it's money that you can really sweat to get, and eventually get really a huge chunk of land that you can start developing one by one. What is more important is just for you to involve the legality, because it has to be legal, and you need to have the lawyers, yeah, writing each and every agreement. So you don't want to lose the chunk of your money because of the things that are not written. So that's another idea. Get people and get a farm and divide it legally and own property. Yeah, that is goal number 4. And by the way, there's this talk that when people are in the city, they tend to develop more where they are than where they come from. But there are villages that are really booming, that it's easier for you to actually maybe get property there and or develop property there. So the city, weigh your pros and cons and see what will work for you. But goal number 4, have property. It's high time. Yeah. Goal number 5, increase your giving. Yes, you heard me right. We need to develop the mindset of giving. Really, like 2020, people were hit hard financially. So you want to have just a certain figure that is set aside for giving. There's nothing beautiful than blessing someone with the little that you have. Yes, and you get blessings for that. Yeah, so develop that mentality of giving. So those are the 5 goals that you might consider. You might adopt them. You might get 1 or 2. And if you have other different financial goals that you think are worth it, please comment in the comment section here. And please remember to give the video a thumbs up. It helps me a lot. And if you have not subscribed, please do consider to subscribe as well. And hit the notification bell so that you're notified each and every time I upload a video. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next video.